Well, hello, beautiful, sensitive people. It is I, your favorite Whimsy, here to deliver your reading for the day. Thank you so much for your patience. I had a lot of stuff going on this week, so I was not able to shoot any videos other than Taco Tuesday. I couldn't say no to a good taco with a good friend. We had a great get together, Chuck and I. We had, I think it was a total of about 10,000 people watched that video, which is great for Chuck and I because we love Taco Tuesdays and it brings us joy that, we started with only a couple thousand people watching and now it's quadrupled as we improve the show. And so we're grateful that you can spend time with us for Taco Tuesdays. All right, so today we're going to do the empath prayer and then I'm going to get to all the questions that you were kind enough to ask. I have everything nicely set up here with your post. You can see here you have nicely organized everything for me. We have 16 comments. I don't know if I'll be able to get, if we have any redundancies, I'll just try and lump them together. But that's what we're looking at. Let's do it. Okay, sound good? Is everybody ready to party? Yeah? Sort of? Okay, let's read the first question here. Okay, let's do the empath's prayer. If you need to have a healing, we'll also send you a beautiful healing. Excuse me. My allergies are back up. I apologize. Time again to launder the kitty. Hopefully it won't bother you too much. Let's go ahead. We'll do the empath's prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And for those who are asking for a healing at this time, we ask from Spirit that those who are suffering receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and spirit. And together we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed. All right, first question coming from Bab Prince. Will Peter Thiel ever get in trouble for his role in this mess? Ooh, my. Interesting. Let's take a look. What is the story with Peter Thiel? What do his cards look like? What's in it for his future? First card is Ace of Pentacles, which is a card of wealth. This would denote that this individual is thinking in terms of wealth and success, and that whatever is going on in their business is wealthy, and they are very happy with their contracts, very happy with how this is working out. Thank you very much. All the defense contracts, which is ultimately all the power, all the money, all the power goes to him through government contracts. Ace of Pentacles is wealth. His opposition would be you and me, and anybody who has a problem with that is a heavy load lay ahead for us. The 10 of Wands stands in his opposition. This is a blitz. It's the 7th, 8th, and 9th cards of Celtic Cross is a blitz. The hope and the fear that the sun will come out. So he's afraid to some extent that he made dirty deals, business contracts with maybe foreign countries like Russia. Something is happening here, a 10 of Wands, that leads him to suspect that this could go badly for him. Final outcome is 6 of Pentacles. Justice will prevail and he will have to pay. It is a balancing and a reshuffling of justice. So say, for example, this guy gets wildly successful and America becomes highly successful because we allow these entrepreneurs to do whatever the hell they like. And then they reach a pinnacle and then the Democrats come in and then we take a huge chunk for ourselves and it goes into social services. That's what's going to happen. In plain words, they're riding the gravy train and they're going to be paying for a lot of innovation. I also think the Shark Tank bill is going to pass. I think they're going to create it, and I think it's going to pass. And the Shark Tank bill is about the United States investing in small ideas, small people, big ideas from small companies, excuse me. And then they take a portion of the profit as your partner in the business, and then the profits go to pay off debts and maintain social services. Yeah, so Six of Pentacles is that this is a balancing of injustice and also to pay out. So everything will right itself. Right now, it's the gravy train, the innovation, and the scientists and the researchers that are employed, et cetera. All of them pay taxes, and so it's I don't want to call it trickle down economics. It's more that justice will come to Thiel, and and the money will be returned back to us. All right. This question coming from Joel Tilson. Will the chaos stop with Trump's arrest by the military? Ooh, will Trump be arrested by the military? Card popped out. The courts are coming in to stop Trump. Hanging it up. His hope and fear stressed out. And the final outcome for Donald Trump is another man, J.D. Vance, will be the president. This is J.D. Vance with black mascara and all. He still wears the mascara. Isn't he embarrassed? Well, I think he's trans, but that's okay. King of Pentacles, final outcome is. Did you all see the Saturday Night Live version? It's very good. No, was it Saturday Night Live? It was the Haley Joel Osment's version. It's very funny. Going to a donut shop. Google it. Was it on? It was on one of the. Was it on the Tonight Show? Maybe. Anyway, yeah. So the military may stop Trump. A heavy load lay ahead. Yes. And it doesn't look like it would bode well for Trump, because the final outcome is another man, King of Pentacles, who presents as like the businessman coming in, and J.D. Vance is his VP and backed by the business world. So it makes sense that J.D. would be, dark-haired man would be depicted, the businessman or the business associate of Thiel backed him, Elon backed him. So the King of Pentacles, I think it's just inevitable that we're looking at a J.D. Vance presidency. Now, people have attacked me. Oh, we don't like him. And don't you know, Whimsy? It's not up to me. I'm not a Republican, and I'm not the one that picked Trump or voted for him. I'm simply a person who reads the newspaper 3 weeks early. Sometimes I read it wrong, or sometimes people make different choices. But I would say if you go back and look, I'm pretty accurate. So if you're asking me about this, the trajectory is that this is not sustainable, that the Senate is already having a sit-down conversation with Elon Musk yesterday, that the courts are coming in and stopping them, and that they have made an enemy of all of our allies, and it's not sustainable, and something is going to happen to stop it. All right, Martise Cartagin, I'm sorry, Maritz Cartagin writes, Trump continues to backtrack on tariffs due to stock market crashing. That's another thing. We talked about the fact that when we followed the energy, I dropped on February 19th. I don't tell people what to do with their money because I'm not capable of, I'm not trained like that. But I am somebody who, as a remote viewer, you can do pure math. You can simply look at the objective energy, which is the power of remote viewing when you stand back and are not emotionally attached. Let me objectively float above the situation. And when you do that as a remote viewer, you see that the market collapses on February 19th. And in fact, that is what we have seen. So if we just take a look at the Dow Jones, if you're an energy worker trained in HCRV, then you can see a grid. You can see it. We just float above, and then we see the grid. You can see here on the 19th is when the crash falls. So that's something that because when you become one with the energy of the market, and you let yourself float with it like a butterfly, like a feather, which is what we teach is to become one with that thing, that merge with the target. You want to merge with so that's what I did. I merged and became one, and I floated as one. And then when I got to the 19th, I dropped. So then my job is to come out of trance, not have any emotion attached to it, and to simply deliver the data to the customer. And that's what I did. So if you're asking me how I feel, you can see here the crash is continuing. I think that this is going to be continuing. That is my feedback for you. Okay, so the stock market. Okay, so the question is, why is he playing chicken? Okay, so let's take a look at Trump playing chicken and the stock market. Thank you, Maurice. Six of Pentacles, because of aid we receive from these countries. Opposition, Queen of Cups, hopes and fears, giving up the war. And then the final outcome has to do with our allies and partnerships, because he's sabotaging our allies and partnerships. And so if he continues to behave like this, he will be a threat to our importing and exporting partnerships, which is what Two of Wands is. They have to take the weapons of war away from him because he's doing so much damage. We may not recover from this. Six of Pentacles is to balance the justice, and again would indicate legal action because he's sabotaging contracts, and these people pay. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Okay, I just got the feed so I can tell you what happened. Here it is. We're being sued. The United States government is facing international lawsuits for violation of trade agreements that you made with those allied countries, starting with Canada suing us in international courts, and France would like to piggyback with that. You change the tariffs, you change anything, we'll see you in international court because you're violating our previous contracts. Trudeau, France. You want to piggyback on this? We got a mess. Macron, Trudeau, and anybody else, you don't screw with our trade, you'll be sued. All right, Celia. Hi, Cecilia. You're breaking my Evans. Trump ended a long-standing intelligence agreement with Ukraine. Okay, we're going to take a look at Ukraine. Love that song. Cecilia, breaking my heart. Okay, Ukraine, the future of Ukraine. Did Ukraine just lose the war? According to some experts, Ukraine just lost the war because of Donald Trump. Did Ukraine lose the war? Can they continue with a hostile president? Did Ukraine just lose the war? Zelensky wants to continue to fight. He presents as I am at war right now, Whimsy. Yes, I present as the Mars King. Zelensky. King David. I am King David. I am channeling King David, like a nice Jewish boy that I am, right? So he stands as King David, the war king, the red king. King David was red, had red hair, right? I fight like fire, right? Aries. So from Zelensky's perspective, there's a time for peace and there's a time for war. They can say anything they like, but right now I'm still fighting. The opposition to Zelensky, where are they at right now? Six of Cups. They want to broker a peace deal. Six of Cups is armistice day, armistice day, right? Six of Cups is we give you love, and you'll give us honey. We give you honey, you'll give us money, right? No money, no honey, right? So it's Six of Cups. We do deal. Honey and money. It's going back to the good life. It's let's have a little loving going on here. Hopes and fears for Zelensky. The offer, Ace of Cups. We love you. We love Kiev. We love Paris too. We will start with Kiev, right? So his fear is the offer, Ace of Cups. What do you want? I love you. He's wary of it. His fear is this Ace of Cups. Look at what we're dangling. And the final outcome for Zelensky and the war. Four of Pentacles. He's going broke. He could be facing economic, but he's holding on. I'm running out of troops. Four of Pentacles. This guy's in trouble. He's retracted. He has to make a decision. His opposition, a new beginning starts in spring, April. Two of Cups, the offer again. I love you. For the good, the health of the nation. You must do what's best for the nation. And the final outcome is he's back and forth. Two of Pentacles. He's searching for money to keep it going. He does not want to make a deal. No honey, no money. No loving. No. So in answer to the question, I would say that it's very likely that Zelensky will keep fighting. He does, even to his last breath. He's a true patriot of Ukraine. All right. Let's see let's move on here. Do I see the U.S. going back to normal? Ask Olga. By 2025. Will the U.S. go back to normal anytime soon? What's normal? Masters will take over. The masters, the intellectuals, the brilliant people, the opposition, Ace of Swords. The opposition, which is us, the Democrats, they're going to win within a year. The Democrats will take back control of the House probably within 1 year with an Ace of Swords standing in the opposition. We read swords as years. You can do whatever you like, but I've always read swords as years. Hopes and fears, Two of Swords, a stalemate. And the final outcome for the United States is King of Swords. Let's take a look at that. New money, new contracts, and mastery over the United States. Opposition grieves, but we'll take back the House by next year. Something about Trump. Trump's legacy is strong because of the Middle East and because he's good for trade, because he's ending the sanctions. And so for that reason, innovation, he's good for innovation, business, high-tech, trade, and going for, with super intelligence, supercomputers, it's like we explode with that mastery card moving in. And for that reason, people look at the benefits. The downside is that he's the King of Swords. And so for that reason, it's not sustainable. He's too, his cruelty, his divisiveness ultimately take him out. All right, I think that's it. I think I'm going to go ahead and close because I think I've been going for, oh no, actually, I just looked at my clock. I've only been going for 19 minutes. I can keep going. There you go. I thought I was like going for a long time. Let's keep going. All right, so will Southern California be safe? Candy wants to know, will Southern California be safe? I should take myself to breakfast. That's what I should do today. Don't you think I should treat myself to breakfast? I got all that work done. Would you take yourself to the diner and have yourself some eggs as a reward for all the hard work you did? I think you would, right? Okay, let's take a look. Page of Pentacles, new work and new innovation lay ahead in California. So new jobs, there's new jobs and new industry coming in for California. The opposition is many people had to leave their homes. You can see an Eight of Cups is to leave everything. That could be because of the fires. Also, people couldn't make it in Hollywood because Hollywood is drying up and people are going into other forms of entertainment. There's a lot of reasons why people are leaving California. We have a large exit of people coming in, but we always have new people coming into California, right? I don't live there anymore, but it was a very migrant population. Hopes and fears, the Queen of Swords. So this could be court battles, legal issues, delays. Final outcome is the karma over California is it will meet its destiny. Old jobs will pass away with new innovation, and that could cause migration changes. Overall, it's going to be difficult financially to survive in California because it looks like it's an expensive place. Also, I see heartbreak over jobs, new jobs coming in, but many old jobs simply drying up, like in Hollywood. And as a result, we see lots of migration, people having to leave, and frugality with the Four of Pentacles. Not a great place in the future, California, if you're trying to get a cheap rent with those types of cards. Yeah. All right. Joel Tilson wants to know, will the EU close American bases and end NATO? Very good question. We are certainly concerned about the loss of NATO. The North American Trade Agreement, he wants to negotiate new trade. Remember when we had begun as remote, publicly talking about remote viewing, the first trance work I did, we taught, I've learned a lot simply by being a remote viewer, but we learned about the importance of the trade routes. And so because it was all about trade, NATO blocks the trade. And so Russia wants an end to the blocking of trade. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the future of NATO. What is the future of NATO? Many good years lay ahead for NATO. Six of Swords. Six of Swords would indicate stable, smooth waters lay ahead for NATO over the next 6 years. The opposition, war, anger and war. So there's this anger and frustration coming from Russia, coming from the East because of these embargoes, because of these blocks in trade. The hopes and the fears, armistice, Three of Cups, the wedding cup, and then the final outcome for NATO. Here comes J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will negotiate the new trade deal. But there are American companies trying to do deal with non-NATO countries that are being sanctioned, and they can't do business with them. So this is the greater picture that we have to see. If you are J.D. Vance and you've been put into the White House by companies like Starlink, Tesla, etc., that are trying to make deals in countries that are being sanctioned, trying to get metal and other supplies from sanctioned countries or countries that are being blocked by NATO, then it personally impacts your career and your business. And so what you would do is you would try to destroy NATO. You would do everything in your power because it's good for your business. It's good for your trade. And it always goes back to trade routes. J.D. Vance is definitely going to try and soften the blow because his job is to make sure that, that trade happens. All right. But America balances out. We'll always be there, the Democrats. The question, of course, has to do with how do the Democrats behave going forward? How do Democrats behave going forward? And the message from Spirit is that children having temper tantrums do have power. Children having temper tantrums do have power. For example, they can embarrass you in a supermarket. So the whole world thinks you're a terrible parent if you can't get control of a child having a temper tantrum. So when the Democrats have temper tantrums, when the president is giving a speech, that has power. When we start screaming and ranting and raving at people in restaurants when they're trying to have dinner, I guess that's a form of power, because it goes back to being powerful the way a child who's 3 years old having a temper tantrum has power. Who is the biggest culprit of this? People like Chuck Schumer, who refuses to look at President Trump, and he's the one that's always egging on the temper tantrums. Another is James Carville, telling people that they should go to Trump rallies, plugging their noses from the stink. This is what children do. Do I think that it's a good strategy for Democrats? No, I think that it's an embarrassment, and it shows desperation and a lack of real power. Real power during the president's speech was for us to not react at all, to maintain neutrality. That's power. Because power is when you know what you're doing, when you're 3 steps ahead of your opponent and you're not giving them any information. That's power. So do I think that the strategy of Democrats acting like 3-year-old kids having temper tantrums at Target is power? Yes. Do I think it's as powerful as us getting our crap together, getting organized, being 3 steps ahead of our opponents, and giving them the gray wall treatment? Now that's power. I'm not saying you don't go in and negotiate, because I believe in communication and mediation. I'm saying we need to strategize, we need to organize, we need to think of the bigger picture. What are we trying to achieve? Well, we want less dead women, right? Having kitchen table abortions, for example. We want less kids in foster home, because we want parents to be able to feed their kids and not have to dump their kids in a home because they don't have enough money to feed them. These are some of the problems that happen when you cut social programs. And we want to make sure that seniors can, eat more than dry chicken bones in an alley somewhere in, the East Bronx or whatever, This is not imagery that's good. And yet we've all seen it, right? We've all seen the desperation and poverty in the United States, and the discrepancy, particularly in senior women, right, who gave everything to care for their families and were told that the work they did was worth nothing, right? So those are the things that we need to be focused on as Democrats going forward: the rights of women and children, the protection of the environment. That's all we need to focus on. Getting busy, getting organized, being about our business, manifesting that. And I think and having the resources, knowledge, and mastery in order to implement it and run good campaigns. That's what we should be focusing on. And I think if we do that and be about your business and maintain yourself like the ladies, gentlemen, and lovely persons that I know you all to be, if we do that, we will take back this country. All right. I want to thank you all for watching this video of me, the Oracle of Whimsy. Be sure and share, like, subscribe. And if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find all the information below through Booksy. All right, that's all I have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate you. Thank you.